Some people go crazy slowly, so slow that by the time everyone around them notices, it's already too late. This woman wasn't going crazy. She was being driven there, and the man doing it was sitting 2 feet away from me, smiling. I've been with Douglas County Sheriff's Office for 7 years, Highlands Ranch, Colorado. It's one of those places where nothing really bad happens. Nice houses, clean streets, people who wave at you from their driveways. After a while, you stop expecting anything serious. You just drive. You check in. You go home. I remember the night I got that call. December. Snow had been coming down since around 4 in the afternoon, and by 9 p.m. the roads in the backcountry neighborhood were just white and quiet. My wipers kept smearing ice across the windshield, and I had my heat turned up so high my eyes were getting dry. I'd also left my dinner, a gas station burrito, sitting on my passenger seat too long, and the whole car smelled like old cheese. The call said suspicious vehicle. I pulled up to a black SUV parked right on the curb. Legal spot. Nothing strange about it from outside. I knocked on the window. The driver rolled it down. White male, maybe late 40s, short hair, wearing a fleece jacket. Calm. Too calm, honestly, but lots of people get nervous around cops and go real still, so I didn't think much of it. His wife, Vera Lindstrom, was in the passenger seat. She was crying so hard she was shaking. Not like sad crying, like terrified crying. The husband, Callum Lindstrom, speaks first, real smooth. He says she's been having another episode, that she gets like this sometimes. He says he was just taking her home and she made him pull over because she was hyperventilating. I asked Vera directly if she was okay. She looked at me. Then she looked at her husband. Then she looked at the glove box. She did it 3 times. Just kept looking at that glove box. So I asked Callum if I could open it. He said sure. Still smiling. Inside there was a small spiral notebook, the kind you'd buy for like $1. I picked it up, flipped it open, and I just stood there in the snow reading it. It had dates going back almost 8 months. Timestamps. And next to each one, exact things I had said. Word for word. Conversations I'd had with Vera during welfare checks. Things I only said when Callum wasn't around. Things I said quietly, carefully, because I wasn't sure she was safe. I remember one entry said the exact phrase I used on a Tuesday in May. I remembered saying it because I thought it would help her. I'd told her, real low, that she could always call us directly if she needed help. It was in that notebook. Written down. Dated correctly, with a note next to it that said, "See, they tell you to call so they can report back to me." I stood there in the cold for a second, just staring at the page. Callum had been following my patrol car for months. He'd put a hidden mic in Vera's purse, so every time I spoke to her alone, he heard it. He'd record it. Then at night, he'd play it back to her and twist it. He'd convinced her that our entire department was working with him, that we were feeding him information, that we were part of it. She believed him. Of course she believed him. He was the only one talking to her. I called for backup. When we got Callum out of the car, he didn't fight. He just stood there while we cuffed him, and before I put him in the back of my unit, he turned and looked at me. He said, "You'll never prove it, and she'll never trust you again." He wasn't wrong about the second part. Vera wouldn't talk at the station. She wouldn't look at any of us. We got her a victim's advocate. We got her somewhere safe to stay. We explained everything we could. She sat there and nodded and said nothing. I don't know what was going on behind her eyes. I heard later she still won't speak to any officer, not even for a protection order. Whatever Callum built inside her head, it's still there. That's the part that stays with me. Callum's in the system now. There's charges, evidence, the notebook, the recordings, all of it. He's not walking around free anymore. But she is. And she's still scared of us. I changed my patrol routes after that. I don't know why exactly. It just felt wrong to keep driving the same streets the same way. And every night when I leave work and pull out of the lot, I check my mirrors. Not because I think someone's following me. Just because now I know what it looks like when they are. I still can't drive down a quiet street at night without feeling it in my gut. This happened last October when I was on patrol with Roswell PD in Georgia. One call changed how I look at every normal house with the lights on. I've been with the department 9 years. Roswell's north suburbs are usually calm. People mow their lawns, kids ride bikes, dogs bark at squirrels. Nothing crazy. That night I was parked near the Dunkin' on Holcomb Bridge Road, sipping the last of a large black coffee. It was bitter and cold by then, but it kept me going. Around 1 a.m. dispatch called. They said a 911 hang-up from Sibley Forest Drive. The woman whispered so quiet the operator barely caught it. He won't let me leave the room. If I call again, he says I won't see daylight. Line went dead. No screams, no yelling in the background. Just her voice, small and scared. Sibley Forest is a nice cul-de-sac. Trees everywhere, flags on porches, basketball hoops in driveways. I pulled up at 117. Porch light was on. Good sign. I walked up and knocked. Door opened fast. This guy, Harlan Whitlock, stood there smiling like I was a friend stopping by. Tall, neat hair, button-up shirt like he'd just come from work. "Hey, officer, everything okay?" he asked, real polite. I told him we got a call to check on his wife. He nodded right away. "Yeah, she's not been doing great. Come in." Living room was clean. Couch, coffee table, pictures of them smiling on vacation. His wife Marisol sat there in pajamas, eyes puffy and red, but she looked up calm. "I'm sorry," she said. "Panic attack. I overreacted. Shouldn't have called." Harlan went to the kitchen, came back with her pill bottles, showed me the labels, said she'd been on them for months, offered me a water bottle too. I passed, asked to walk through the house. He said, "Go ahead." I checked rooms. Nothing wrong. No mess, no broken stuff, no guns out. Basement door shut. Stairs looked ordinary. Upstairs had a kid's bedroom with Spider-Man sheets, but Harlan said their boy was at his grandma's. Everything normal. Too normal, maybe. Back in the living room, I said if they're both okay, I'd head out. Marisol got up sudden and came over, hugged me quick at the door. As she did, she put her mouth close and whispered, "He records every room." Plays my voice back at night telling me I'm crazy. I pulled back a little, looked at her. She smiled like it was nothing. Harlan watched from the doorway, still smiling. I nodded, said take care, and walked to my car. Sat there a minute. Felt off, but I thought maybe the depression talking. People say wild things when they're sick. I wrote the report, sent the body cam in, drove home. 2 weeks later, I was off, eating cold Chinese food on my couch. Phone buzzed. Sergeant texted, "Wife from that call found dead. Bottom of basement stairs. Accidental fall." I stared at the screen, then pulled up the body cam on my laptop, watched the whole thing. Got to me walking down the hallway to leave. There's a mirror on the wall. In the reflection, Harlan's behind me in the doorway. Every time I glance away from Marisol, just for a second, he shakes his head slow at her. Not once, multiple times. Real subtle, like a warning. I replayed it, same shake, slow, deliberate. She sees it too. Her eyes flick to him right when he does it. Next day I called the detective, told him the whisper, the video. He said they'd review it. But no marks on her body, No signs of push. Talk screen just her meds. Stairs are wood, steep, people slip, ruled accident, case closed. Harlan sold the house fast. Moved somewhere. Nobody's talking. I drive by Sibley Forest sometimes. House empty now. Realtor sign in the grass. I think about that whisper. How many nights she heard her own voice calling her crazy until she couldn't tell what was real. How many times he shook his head like that when no one watched. Their cat ran across the hall that night. Floor creaked loud. Harlan laughed, said the cat always does that after midnight. I laughed too. Stupid normal thing. Now when my own floor creaks at home, I stop and listen. Wonder who's listening back. I keep wondering how many houses look perfect from the street. Lights on, flags out, smiles at the door. And inside, someone's trapped, recording everything, playing it back until the person breaks. I don't have answers. Just that head shake in the mirror. It replays every quiet shift. Makes me hesitate before I clear a scene. Makes me wonder if I missed it again. I can still hear a call like a small drum in my head. The kind that wakes you and never leaves. That humid August night changed how I answer the phone at the station and follows me when it rings. I'm a 12-year veteran with the Gilbert Police Department in the Southeast Valley. Monsoon started, streets were shiny. Dispatch sent me to a medical assist in Seville neighborhood. Houses all look the same, beige stucco, Palo Verde trees, quiet lawns. The call was from a man named Eldon Price. He said his wife had stopped eating and that she was certain she was dying. He sounded calm. I parked under a humming streetlight. I remember wet asphalt and porch lights. He led me in. In the bedroom, a woman lay on the bed. Her name was Soraya Klein. She looked like she had not left that bed for months. Thin, pale. An oxygen canister sat on the floor and tubes ran to her nose. Eldon had a box of small bottles and folders with printed test results. He handed the pages to me like proof. Soraya looked at me when I came close. She whispered, "Please don't make them take me to the hospital. I only have weeks, and he is the only one who knows how to give me the medicine." Her voice was small and steady. Eldon showed blood work and a doctor's letter he had printed. The paper at first looked real. He talked about rare diseases and said outsiders would make her worse. He said the hospital would kill her faster. He spoke like a man who read a lot online and decided he knew the truth. Small things made me uneasy. The kitchen light was a bit too bright. There was a laundry basket with a sock that might have been mine. The house had a cat bowl, and the floorboards creaked when the cat ran. Those normal details made the rest feel wrong. I called for paramedics. We needed proper checks. Eldon opened his white box and showed vials and a folded note. "This keeps her alive," he said. Soraya reached for my hand and mouthed, "Don't take me." At the hospital, doctors ran tests. They found no rare virus, no infection. They found severe malnutrition and vitamin deficiencies. The notes showed she had been home 11 months. Family had not seen her. Her social accounts were gone. Eldon had cut her out. When staff tried to discharge her, she shouted that they were trying to murder her. She begged for Eldon and his bottles. Nurses explained the tests. She did not listen. It was like fear had been taught until it replaced reason. They arrested Eldon. He argued and said he only wanted to help. He told officers he had to protect her. He said other doctors could not be trusted. He sounded calm as we walked him to the squad car. He left his box on the nightstand like it was all ordinary. Ray Lynn Quaid, the Ray Lynn Quaid, sat with Soraya sometimes. Raylin tapped her pen when she thought. She would say, "We will try to make this safe," then pause, like words could not fix it. Tomas Vega joked about sandwiches to make Soraya smile. I skipped dinner and my throat felt dry. I kept thinking of small, ordinary moments. They make stories worse. He called from jail. He asked me to tell Soraya he loved her. He said without his medicine, she would die. I muttered "motherfucker" once under my breath and turned the volume down. The message replayed in my head longer than I wanted. Soraya called the station afterward. She called a lot. She asked when Eldon could visit. She said the bottles were her medicine. Sometimes she sounded awake. Sometimes she sounded like the woman in the bed, thin and pleading. Her family came and showed photos of her before. She had been different then. I kept thinking about the boxes and the paper. I kept thinking about how fear can become a rule. Was Eldon cruel on purpose? Did he believe his own story? I do not know. People do strange things. Weeks later, Soraya ate small meals. She smiled once at a nurse's bad joke. That felt like sunlight. Then she called the station and asked again for him. A social worker said no. She said she was cold without his hands. She sounded confused and scared at the same time. I do not have neat answers. We took legal steps to keep him away. We held the bottles as evidence. We tried to help her family reach her. But you cannot undo the part where belief changes a person. That part sticks. Now, when the rain starts in August, I remember that bedroom. That night I forgot to take the trash out, and the kitchen smelled strange when I came home. Could not sleep 2 nights. I kept replaying Soraya's voice. "Please don't make them take me." Those words are a compass I don't trust. Sometimes I still hear Soraya's soft voice. When someone calls and says they are afraid, I listen longer. I ask more questions. I watch for empty spaces in answers. It is not perfect. It will not save everyone. But it is something. There are things I can never explain. Why she begged so hard to leave the hospital. Why the bottles felt like the only cure. Maybe fear can feel like medicine. Maybe love can become a rule that hurts. I do not know. All I know is when the phone rings at 2 in the morning, I check the number and then answer. The call stays with me, and it stays.